should take this opportunity to evaluate how we improve schools.
A primary use is to protect the health and safety of staff and students. Changes in the physical facility can be paid for with the American Rescue Plan dollars. Everything from, hand washing through ventilation, keeping windows open. The money can pay for school tutoring and enrichment courses. It can be spent over 3.5 years' time. Of course, a very critical component of the funds, 20% of the funds must be used to assess learning loss among students and devise plans to address that learning loss in meaningful ways. Schools can hire counselors and nurses and social workers. They can rehire staff that's been laid off.
When you look at where this money can go, they really do address these kind of components. For example, the rescue plan helps provide support for childcare, helps provide support for rental assistance, and tax credits for family who are living in poverty. That's important because if you address those conditions at home and improve those conditions at home, they'll come to school more ready to learn. Learning loss, social emotional trauma, all these things are also supported by the American Rescue Plan.
From our vantage points, like the other 50%, the other half of money that we have in Ohio for higher ed, there's a lot of ways we could spend it. Direct payments to students. The other piece is forgiving institutional debt. And I think the other thing is helping to actually increase need-based aid. Our state has slashed need-based aid since, I think it was 2009. We have not recovered from those decline in need-based aid. Federal work-study jobs, which a number of our student parents have, don't qualify for unemployment benefits. Also, a lot of our younger members and students have not had a long enough work history to qualify for certain unemployment benefits.
The first thing that people need to do is, if they are part of the PTA, go to their PTA and ask the superintendent, go to board meetings and ask the board members about, we understand we're supposed to be involved in this process and we want to be involved in this process. How are you going to involve us? Engaging your district at the district level, engaging the senators at the state level, it's all going to be important over the summer and in the next coming weeks. We have to hold all policymakers accountable, and there's no better way to message about where the state is committing its resources, its concerns, than through their budget.
It's really up to the public participation, to the parents and students and teachers, business people, unions, community leaders that come into this planning process to say, no, wait a minute. We need rescue. We need good ventilation systems. We need better facilities. We need extra tutors. We need a lot of mental health counselors on site. Let's use these funds to rescue the schools and use the state budget to fairly fund and distribute schools.
What we have done in Cincinnati in some of our schools is we have community learning centers and we have local decision-making teams. And those local decision-making teams are comprised of parents, students, administrators, teachers, community members, and social service organizations. And they decide what programs they want in that school. It's up to that team that look at the services and make sure those services are meeting the needs of the students. And if they're not, that service is, let go.
The danger is that state lawmakers will not fully recognize the American Rescue Act dollars as rescue funds, as one-time funds meant to knit the school and the community back together and repair the damage to students. The ways Ohio funds schools was found unconstitutional because it was so unfair 24 years ago. It relies too much on the property tax. Communities with low property values and low incomes do not have the same level of education, the same quality of education in Ohio as communities that have higher income levels. Legislators are right now considering the Fair School Funding Plan, which could fix that. Things aren't working for working people. The American Rescue Act money gives us a chance to start a turnaround. But more is needed, and sustained effort on the part of the state lawmakers is needed. Everyone needs to pay their fair share, and we need to build a more just system.